football last week. Any issues you're seeing there?
Yeah, we didn't have that many passing yards. I'm not exactly sure why that was. You know, I just kind of worry about my job and the five guys up front, and let JT and coach, they'll handle that. So as long as we protect, then they'll handle the rest.
Pat, Wisconsin's a team that's really built to stop the run. As an offensive lineman, do you like that type of game that is going to be pretty much won or lost in the trenches?
Yeah, those games are always fun, and just kind of like it was last week. It's a Big Ten football game where there's big physical guys inside, good linebackers, and it's going to come down to if we can run the ball, if we can protect, if we can stop the run. So yeah, those are always fun games to play in.
What problems do the defensive line bring up to you guys?
Who?
Their defensive line.
What problems? They're, like I said, a Big Ten football team. They got good players, probably equally as talented as us. It all comes down to preparation. So every week it comes down to, how you practice, how you prepare. Will we be ready for what they're going to throw at us? So, they run a few different defensive fronts. So just knowing when they're going to run those fronts and be ready to execute when they give us different looks.
Can't be many guys who played up there at night from 12. You worried about that? As young as this team is?
No. I think we did a fine job going to Oklahoma and competing there, and that was a crazy environment. I'm sure it's going to be very similar to that. So we kind of got one under our belt, kind of know what to expect on the road at night. So it'll be another test for us. So it'll be fun.
Have you heard stories about the place?
Yeah, I heard it's nuts. So it's gonna be a fun environment.
Pat, you mentioned just being focused on yourself and the offensive line as far as the passing game's concerned. How much easier is it to do that when it's a guy like JT behind there who you've seen him obviously be successful before? This isn't a case where, it's an unproven guy.
That's our motto here, and that's what we always do, is just do your job. I'm not worrying about what JT does. I'm not worrying about what the receivers do. I'm worried about my job, and secondly, I'm worried about the four guys around me, them doing their jobs. So I know JT's going to worry about his job. So if we do our job, that gives JT an opportunity to do his job, which he does really well.
Pat, you and Wisconsin have had a very interesting history. Obviously, 2 years ago, there was a game that was a springboard. What do you remember about that game, and is there any kind of lingering effect that may have? Can you guys more confidence or anything?
The game, the Big Ten game?
Big Ten championship game.
This is a different team, so I think they have a new coach, don't they?
Yeah.
Yep. So.
That was his last.
Right.
He was bolted after that.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm sure stuff's different. Things are changed up. So when they bring in a new coach, it's hard to go back and watch the old film and kind of get notes from that to carry over. But Wisconsin, they always usually show up and play a big game, and they're a good team. They've won some big games this year, and they look pretty good.
Is that like the perfect game, the game that you always dream of playing, but obviously never really achieve?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Everyone was clicking. Defense was. And they had a good running back, a good O-line. Our defense held them. And that's what I thought was most surprising. So, yeah, I guess you could say that was, something that you always want is to play a game like that, shut down a running back like that.
Pat, a lot of your teammates have said the thing that they wish they had done better last year is handle wins like wins, even if there were elements of that victory that were a little disappointing. This might be the first time that you guys have been out there and felt like you left some plays in the field. Are you handling it better than 2015?
Yeah. Always celebrate wins. Every football game you play at this level, it's very challenging to win. The amount of work and preparation that you put in, no matter who you're playing against. Because on the other side of the ball, those are good football players. If they're at this level, they're good football players. And it takes a lot of work. You work all off season 365 to get ready for that moment. And when you hear that victory bell ringing and you sing Carmen after a win, you really cherish that, and I think we did that, and we're excited about winning. Indiana's a good football team, so that one's out of the way. Correct the mistakes. Now let's get ready for the next one.
Do
with this offense, you've been in this offense a long time. Do you sort of figure every week there's going to be a couple plays where some guy for you just makes a play? You know, like is that almost like part of the game plan where we're doing this all week and then this play we're going to run a swing pass that might go for 8 yards, but somebody might just break it for 50. Like when you have these skill guys,
Yeah.
you used to that?
Yeah, I mean, when we draw up plays, you know, sometimes you can't block everybody. So, you know, you say you give it to Curtis or Mike, like, all right, everyone's blocked now. He's got to beat this guy, and if he does, it's a touchdown sometimes. If not, then it's, you know, a 10-yard gain. So we give our guys an opportunity to break them, and you know, it's been happening a lot that they do. Sometimes they don't. You know, you don't score a touchdown on every play, but we put our guys in situations where they have an opportunity to make one guy miss, and it's out.
Pat, it's ingrained in you guys to protect the quarterback, JT. So when he runs, do you ever get concerned at all about him, or do you consider him just like a tailback and block the exact same way as you would for Mike?
Yeah. Sometimes we don't even know if JT's carrying it. You know, we get the play, and sometimes they just don't tell us, you know, who's carrying the ball. It really doesn't matter. You should always block it the same. You know, JT's a shifty runner. He's a hard runner. He's a really tough guy. So that's why we let him carry the ball. So, yeah, I don't ever get worried about him and taking those hits and being, you know, he's a tough guy, and he'll be good for us.
Pat, this was one of the first weeks that, you know, people outside the program may seem like you guys are maybe a little more vulnerable than in previous weeks. You guys were just flying on all cylinders. Did you see any of the younger guys come to you more? Did you feel like you had to speak to them more when the game was a little closer?
This game?
Yeah.
Not really, not too bad. I mean, I think, you know, we up front, at least, like I said earlier, that's mainly what I worry about during the course of a game is, you know, keeping those, because we have some young guys in there, keeping those guys, you know, up and on tune and in sync. And I think offensive line, we played, you know, a pretty decent game, pretty good game. So, but I didn't, you know, JT made a mistake, and that's okay. You know, people make mistakes, and he's not a guy that you need to go up to and, you know, say, hey man, it's gonna be okay, because he knows that. He knows how to respond after something goes wrong, because that's how we're trained here, and he's one of the best at doing that.
Do you think a game like Indiana may have been a little more important just before this game against Wisconsin, maybe bring it a little bit back down to earth to realize what you guys have to do to correct and before the Wisconsin game?
I mean, it was a good win, and it was good to get a couple different looks, and they were running some of the stuff that Wisconsin might run, like shifting from 4-down defense to an odd defense. And they had some good players. Indiana had from my perspective, they had a good defensive line, and they're tough, and it'll be pretty similar to kind of what Wisconsin will run. So I think it was, from my standpoint, it was a good, good test before this big one coming up.
Are you guys playing sharp enough from the standpoint of not taking penalties in your mind?
You always want to try to eliminate penalties. There's a lot of penalties called in that game. Not all of them I agree with. But yeah, you got to be careful. Holding penalties will kill you. Those are, kill drives and put kill momentum. So we really got to be careful on that.
Congratulations on the touchdown celebration. Looked like you and Weber
Yeah.
got together for a good one. Right?
Yeah, we executed it good this time. It was. I didn't get a running start, but I was in good position, and he located me pretty quickly, and it worked out good.
It looked like good height.
Yeah.
You got your finger up too.
Yeah, I got my finger up, so it was good. Billy tried to get one in too.
Yours was better.
Mine was better.
You didn't put much effort into Billy's.
No.
It's funny. This might be kind of a weird question, because I don't know if you even care about it, but who is the fastest player in the offensive line room?
Isaiah, he's fast.
Okay. Well, the reason I ask is because it just seems like on a couple of these long runs we've seen, Billy is like 15 yards or 20 yards downfield, and he seems like he gets there pretty quickly when he's pulling and getting ahead of a play. And I know you all want to get to the second level, and that's how you bust big runs and stuff, but is there something about the way Billy plays or his athletic ability that helps him get to that level quicker maybe than some interior offensive linemen you've seen?
Billy's a freak athlete too. You don't see guys like Billy all the time who are as athletic and flexible and as strong as he is. And some of those plays that I've hit are plays where he's pulling, so he's good at getting out in open space and cutting guys down and blocking the second level. And then, you know, it just so happens that that's a touchdown play. He's already out there and he's running downfield. But yeah, a lot of those big plays have been when he's pulling, and he's good at getting out there. He's sprung a couple of those big plays free.
Jamarco seems like he grades a champion every week. What's he? I know he's a veteran guy, but he's still a first-year starter. What's enabled him to play so well this year so far?
Jamarco's been ready to play. He was ready to play last year, so now it's a matter of timing, and his time is now. So, you know, when opportunity meets preparation, and you grade champion every week, like Jamarco does. So, you know, we rely on him a lot for leadership. You know, even though he's a first-year starter, he's a leader, and he's playing very well right now. And you know, like I said, it's just he was ready. He's been ready to play, and now it's his time, and he's taking advantage of it.
And Michael Jordan, what are you seeing out of him? Is he getting better each week? Is he starting to plateau? Just what do you see out of him?
Yeah, he's still getting better. He's still trying to learn how to communicate effectively, which is tough. But yeah, he's getting better each week. Kid goes hard. He goes hard in practice. Plays hard on the field. You know, a good guy. He's a smart kid. So he's getting better each week, and we need that.
Mike Weber says he's earned honorary slob status.
What's that?
Mike Weber says he's earned honorary slob status. Is this
Mike Jordan?
No,
Weber.
Mike Weber
Oh,
says
Mike
he's
Weber?
earned honorary slob status.
No. He doesn't have the authority to say that. So I'd say that's Billy and myself. That's our call. So, no, not yet.
You're fact checking that as mostly false.
Right.
What does he need to show? What are the requirements for getting that?
What are the requirements?
Is it a blocking thing, or is it a...
That's a kind of an in-house thing, so can't let you guys know, but I'll let you know, or Billy will when he's a
Couple more
slob.
questions. Pat, do you think that having a little bit of a struggle against Indiana will, in the long run, benefit you guys?
I mean, we usually want to go in and dominate everybody, but I think it could help, you know, when we face adversity, when you know things aren't going our way, when we really need to put a drive together, when we're backed up and we need to get out of our own territory and get some yards. Yeah, I think that helped in that standpoint, but we don't want to do that. We don't want to have to be, you know, trailing by 7 points against Indiana. We want to, you know, be playing good. That's why we work so hard, so we don't do that. But yeah, I think it was good to, you know, get that experience to responding to events like that.
Pat, you've played in plenty of road games. What's the most fun aspect of road games?
Everyone hates you, and everyone's yelling at you and saying stuff to you, and it's pretty much everybody against us. And it's, you know, we don't take everybody on road games. I think we take like 70 guys, and those are the real guys that, you know, are playing, that have put in the work, that are, you know, the elite players. So it's kind of like, you know, your little army versus everybody in enemy territory, and you know, and we're all we got versus everybody else.
So it's more fun to be hated than loved?
No, I like playing here too. It's just you know, something about it. Just, you know, it's like you're out to prove someone wrong when everyone's against you. That's pretty fun.
And you got to have state next week.
That one's crazy too.
What's your reaction to both of those teams going to have off weeks before you guys play them on the road at night? Did you know that? Both
Yeah,
Wisconsin and Penn State.
it's okay though. I mean, I'm not worried about it.
Can you tell a team is coming off an off week when you play them? I mean, is there any indicator? Are they fresher? Do you usually see something different?
You might see something different, but I think, you know, like freshness-wise or conditioning, no, not really. But they might have, you know, dial up a trick play or a defense you haven't seen yet. But, you know, we prepare for that too. I'm sure we had, you know, some people looking at Wisconsin's film last week. Probably not like Coach Meyer, but maybe like a GA or something. Get ready for them.
All right. Thanks,
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you, Pat.